Inevitably Doomed, single-issue story written by Rondisha Diaz, 2019. Note to artists: all direction, angles, colors, perspective shots, and page layouts are suggestions and open to discussion. The story and dialogue are not. Page 1, Panel 1, Exterior, dusk, but cast in multicolored lights by the tower beacon described below. A vast grassland occasionally dotted with trees. Deeper in the background is a massive tower, nearly a half-mile tall, or a full kilometer, maybe taller. The exterior of the tower has a stairway that spirals up, with a distant line of people climbing the steps, undetailed like moving specks. Every 100 or so steps of this stairway, the steps stop and open to a small doorway where people can enter the hollow interior of the tower. The tower itself, perhaps, tapers slightly towards the top, up to a massive glass sphere, the beacon, which emits multicolored streams of light. The beacon is filled with a weightless fluid that absorbs sunlight during the day and then throughout the night becomes fluorescent and throws off random beams of light in random colors, somewhat like a captured sphere of aurora light. The lower half of the beacon itself has large colored pieces of glass hanging in place to further color and shape the light as it washes over the small village below. Around the base of the tower, in the distance, a few people can be seen walking around. Some are just now lighting torches or lanterns along the road as if it had just recently become dark. A few barracks and supply buildings, like a miniature Deadwood, with a straight line of dirt road leading up to the base of the tower, and every structure in the village lines this singular road. A sign in the foreground says Beacon Village, and written underneath that is All Are Welcome. In the foreground we see Laylee, age 22, a tall woman with long, dark, flowing hair, wearing her usual skin-tight pelt quilt suit of randomly stitched together animal skins, with the fur worn on the inside. She's carrying a large supply pack over one shoulder as she looks up at the tower in the background, which is her destination. Panel 2. A small panel of Laylee's reaction, amazed and delighted as she looks upward to the beacon, perhaps angled slightly from above, as if seeing her from the beacon's perspective, with Laylee looking to the sky as she used to when she was a child. She's been thinking about coming here for years. Page 2, Panel 1. Laylee entering the village proper, trying to get someone's attention as people walk past her without bothering to look at her. That seems implausible.
Yes. In fact, that gets brought up, I think, in the next panel.
Okay. Maybe if she
it's in this panel. Okay.
Maybe if she pulled her top open and showed off some titty meat.
Beautiful titty meat you have there.
But she hasn't done that, so she isn't drawing much attention. Laylee came here hoping to get by on her own merits, the poor dope. In this story, Laylee's suit is closed up to her neck for retaining her delicious body heat in cold climates.
That's some weird editorializing that you just added in.
I can't believe the real Randall Monroe would write something like that. Laylee. Excuse me, hello? Laylee continued. I have just arrived here. Laylee continued. Hello, could you, Panel 2. Laylee looks off to a tavern, the doorway open, but with strings of beads to walk through. Out in front of the tavern are a few men chatting with each other casually, looking pleased with themselves. Chatting man, smaller text. The work you're doing is so good I can just imagine the angry faces on the corruptors. Intriguing.
Trust me, it won't be intriguing the 10,000th time you've read that line when people say it over and over again.
Panel 3. Laylee approaches the men out front of the tavern, trying to get their attention. One of the men immediately looks displeased. We already know what she has to do to get attention. It's written right in the script. Well, she can't afford to lose her delicious body heat.
Yes, she has to retain it with her nice suit.
Must be pretty cold out.
It's not.
Oh. Laylee, excuse me, I've traveled the great distance to visit Beacon. Or is that a typo, or is that the name of a
she's
place?
supposed to speak, this is her second language, so I want to...
She never fucking finished 5th grade then, I see.
No. She's a dummy.
Panel 4. One of the men immediately turns and walks away as the others treat her with casual indifference. Laylee continued. I've heard that repair work is required for the tower, and I would like to volunteer. So this is her second language. Should I be giving her a doofy accent?
Yeah.
Panel 5. One of the remaining men replies, but he already looks irritated, as if she had just insulted him personally. Irritated man. It doesn't need work. The tower is just fine, get it? Page 3, panel 1. Laylee looking confused. Laylee. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it in that way. This is not my first language. It is hard to explain. Laylee. I have seen the light of Beacon since I was a child, though. Panel 2. Close-up of Laylee looking wistful and smiling happily as she recalls her childhood memories. Maybe little goofy cartoon flowers surrounding her head or replacing the background. Laylee. Even from my home in Oroka Mountains, I would see the colors lighting up the night sky, and I would imagine what happened here, how the people maintained the light, what rituals they must have practiced. Laylee continued. My mother would joke with me that spirits came here to paint the animals silly colors to amuse themselves, and that when my grandparents had died, their spirits went into the beacon to help travelers find their way. Panel 3. The irritated man's equally unimpressed friend speaks up. Laylee tries to explain, confused at the instant hostility. Unimpressed friend. You can't see the beacon all the way from the Oroka Mountains? Laylee. I saw the colors from it, the beams of light floating. Panel 4. Irritated man speaks up again, looking a little pleased with himself at what he thinks is a great comeback. Laylee tries to explain, but unimpressed friend interrupts her, his word balloon overlapping where she was speaking. Irritated man. Not unless you lived at the peak. You telling me you lived at the top where no one goes? Laylee. Well, no, we lived among the lower ledges, and sometimes at nights I would climb to the upper ledges for... Unimpressed friend. Why the hell are you coming here and wasting our time with this? I don't want to listen to this. Page 4. Panel 1. Laylee standing there, the background blanked out as she looks stunned and confused, as she's completely lost track of her train of thought. She indeed has completely forgotten why she was here. Laylee. Laylee, disconnected. Well, Laylee, disconnected. Panel 2. The two men walk away. They don't even walk away together. They walk away even from each other, as if they didn't even know each other to start with. Panel 3. Laylee, with a raised eyebrow, puzzled. Panel 4. She sees the tavern doorway with the strings of beads over it. Maybe some vague, undifferentiated noise effects come from it, as opposed to a sound effect or automatopoeia, drawing her attention towards it. Panel 5. She pushes her way in through the strings of beads. Page 5. Panel 1. Interior of the tavern. Glowing orange with cozy lamplights made to look maximum comfy. A lot of weary-looking people slumped at tables and drinking or talking, unheard griping about insignificant trifles that they're dwelling on for the rest of their lives. Along the back is a long bar, a healthy row of bottles along the wall behind it. A few people sit at the bar. Laylee is entering from the left and overlooking the interior. No one seems to be giving her much attention. Panel 2. She stands over at the bar. The bartender is Thomas, who is almost embarrassingly short and cute, so his head and the tops of his shoulders are the only part visible from over the bar. Thomas looks upwards at her, a plain, stern look. Laylee. Excuse me, Mr. Bartender, if it's okay to call you that.
She's immediately subjugated.
Yes, just by his coyness, but also his arrogant resolve.
Excuse me, Mr. Bartender, if it's okay to call you that. I don't mean to call you something insulting if I may know your name or title. Panel 3. Thomas steps up onto a platform or box that puts him at a closer height. We can see that Thomas is scrawny, like an Edora Kawaii Moe Shota, but that will definitely be the only time in this script he'll be described that way.
Oh, thank God.
As cute as cute as he is, AF, he still has a serious look on his face because it's been a long day. Thomas. I'm okay with bartender, though my name's Thomas. What's yours? Wow, he's actually talking to her.
He's talking to an actual girl with tits. She's an actual real-life tit-haver.
Sound effects, unseen box. Thump. Panel 4. Laylee is a bit relieved to have someone not be openly hostile to her. Laylee. My name is Laylee. I came here for a repair volunteer, Laylee continued. I wish to repair volunteer, but it seems not needed. Thomas. No, it's needed. This tower is 1,000 years old and fallen apart. I was thinking of moving out soon, in case it collapses. Panel 5. Laylee looks surprised. Laylee. Is that true? You are playing the joke, yes? Thomas. I'm serious. You can go look at it yourself if you don't believe me.
Bitch.
Page 6, panel 1. Laylee staring down at the bar top, lost in thought, more confused than ever. Laylee. Men outside said to me that it needed no work. Thomas. Oh. Yeah, I guess some people around here will say that. I can't explain what anyone else says. It's a bit, zozo around here sometimes. You just gotta go by what you see for yourself. Thomas continued. You really want to work on the rotting old beacon tower? Panel 2. Laylee perks up a bit, but bashfully, as if she's embarrassed by her own life story now.
She is quite quiet now.
Laylee. I do. I had wanted to travel here for many years since I was young. Laylee, smaller text. I used to think... Laylee, smaller text. I don't know. Thomas. You saw the beacon as a kid and thought fairies were dancing in it or something? Panel 3. Laylee perks up more now that she's finally met someone who seems to understand. Laylee. Yes, exactly. Laylee continued. I mean, not exactly, but it was like that. Thomas. You're not the first. Most of the people working here tell stories like that when they first show up. Thomas continued. If you want to work, just follow the crowd tomorrow morning. Thomas continued.
Oh.
Until then, you want a drink? Panel 4. Laylee
Get that
pulling...
bitch drunk as shit.
Oh no. Do werewolves get drunk?
But you know what? You know what's really weird about this? They're not werewolves in the story. Even
They're not
that's weird even to me. I don't know why.
Is that why Laylee seems uncharacteristically demure?
Yeah. She's
Because
sort
she
of
doesn't
just
have a raging beast within her?
She can't wolf out and literally rip everyone in half at will.
So she's a little less secure in herself then.
Well, plus she's in a place that is like a place of legend to her. That's like, oh, this place means a lot, doesn't it? Or does it? Or does it not mean shit? She doesn't know. Even she doesn't know at this point.
Panel 4. Laylee, pulling something from her duffel bag. It looks like a bright red chip of wood, sort of like a carved and painted insignia. Laylee, I'm not from here, so I'm not sure I have correct money. Thomas, we don't get a lot of red chips, but I can get that exchanged sometimes. We prefer coins, though. Greatland coins or gold chips specifically. Thomas continued, Kinda odd seeing someone like you with red chips. That's pretty far away, even for you, I think. Thomas continued, Going by your suit, you look like you're from the Oroka Mountains. Panel 5. Laylee looks surprised to be recognized. Laylee, you know? I am, yes. Laylee continued, Do you know others of my people? Thomas, No, I just recognize your clothing. I've seen it in books, never seen it in person, though. It looks good on you. Panel 6. Laylee leans towards him over the bar and gives him a playful smirk, and he smiles back slightly blushing. Laylee,
Kawaii-fully.
Oh, you like how this suit looks? Thomas, Hey, don't get too friendly with me yet. Not until you've worked here for a day first. Page 7. Panel 1. Exterior, morning, the tower. A clear blue sky, gentle breeze in the wind that slightly ruffles through Laylee's long dark hair as she walks towards the base of the tower, following a solid line of people, maybe 100 or more, who are beginning the daily climb along the tower's exterior stairs. Some carry buckets, some carry brushes, some carry tool cases. A couple are carrying a ladder. Panel 2. Laylee is finally at the base of the stairs herself, but along the very bottom of the tower, most of the bricks and stones are so broken and crumbled that they don't look like they could hold anything up. Even the mortar along most of it has completely crumbled away, leaving huge gaps in the edges of the stones. The tower itself consists of plain stones mortared together 1,000 years ago. Most likely, the field that this tower sits in has flooded a few times over the past 1,000 years due to rare flash flood storms or particularly bad avalanches from neighboring mountain ranges. Good to know.
It's informative, and it has no bearing on the story.
Yeah. Panel 3. Laylee on the stairs, people in front of her and behind her. Her hands brush over the stones, some of them still solid, though worn, but some visibly have large cracks running through them. A couple of people chatter proudly and smugly to each other.
Smugly?
Person. I bet the corruptors are really angry when they're repairing it. Other person. Yeah, they're scared too because we're showing how much braver we are by doing the repairs. And the corruptors were thinking they were the ones who were brave for wanting to ruin this place. What the fuck did this clown just say?
Absolutely nothing, and yet the same thing all of them are going to say for the entire rest of the story.
Other person continued. You know, they wanted to make it dimmer and get rid of the green and blue colors. Panel 4. Laylee's hand pushes against a completely loose stone that rattles. Laylee looks surprised at this. Off panel, another person responds to the previous person. Sound effects. Skrrk. Other person, off panel. Heck yeah! They can't do anything about all the great work we're doing rebuilding the tower, and that makes them scared and angry.
This voice is more appropriate than I ever fucking expected it to be.
Panel 5. She pushes at the stone and it flies inward, making Laylee look panicked. From inside is a thud and someone yelling, as someone behind Laylee tells her to keep moving. Oh no. Sound effects. Stone from inside. Thud. Man from inside. Hey! Woman behind Laylee. Don't hold up the line! Laylee. Sorry, I'm sorry. Page 8. Panel 1. Interior. Laylee entering the tower from a doorway in the exterior stairs. The tower itself is hollow inside. Every entrance doorway is met with a wooden catwalk floor that rings around the interior, 10 feet wide from the interior to the end of the catwalk. The inner edge of the catwalk has no guardrail to keep people from falling off, but it does have a stairway that spirals all the way around the interior floors from top to bottom, so if you were to walk off the edge of the catwalk, you would hit the stairs.
That's the most coherent form of this description I was able to come up with without just including visual aid, which I don't have. It plays much better visually. That's why this is a comic and not a fucking book.
The interior stairs is sort of a mirror reverse of the exterior stairs, traveling in a wide spiral as the interior stairs connects each floor of the interior catwalk. This is as opposed to a tight spiral stairway that simply goes straight up. These stairs here are also made of old wood, perhaps 100 or 200 years old, added hundreds of years after the tower was built, perhaps replacing earlier catwalks and stairways through previous renovation projects. While the exterior stairs are meant for climbing the tower, the exterior stairs are meant for descending, so anyone seen on these stairs would be heading down. Further inside the tower interior, beyond the wooden catwalk floors, and further beyond the internal stairway, is simply open space that drops all the way down to the ground level. We see a handful of people along the catwalk floor, kneeling or standing with their buckets as they paint over the tower's bricks and stones. A few others with ladders painting the higher stones. The fresh paint material is brighter and white in contrast with the old reddened stones. A couple people are seen walking down the inner stairs, presumably with empty buckets or empty-handed in general. So is that their renovations? They're just painting it?
Yes.
Great. Panel 2. Laylee approaches a worker, asking about their work. Laylee. This material you're painting, what does it do? Worker. Ask the overseer.
It's a woman.
Ask the overseer.
Better.
Better.
Panel 3. Laylee looking a little confused. The worker sighs and just answers the question himself instead. Laylee. Sound effects. Worker. Sigh.
Less sigh. Maybe when I redraft this one more time, I'll just put in less sigh.
Worker. It coats the stones in a protective layer and hardens them up. Laylee. Oh. Laylee continued. Thank you. Panel 4. Laylee goes to the internal stairway, leaning in and curiously looking up into the open space and seeing the beacon from inside. It appears to be filled with transparent, weightless fluid, but during the day it doesn't reflect or emit much light. A few multi-spectrum colors through the fluid, but only within the fluid itself and not emitting, not even sending a glow through the tower's interior. Page 9. Panel 1. Laylee, with a bucket of mortar and a brush, crouched and painting mortar onto the bricks. The other workers seem to be sloppily slapping their brushes onto the wall, while Laylee is new and fresh and dedicated, so she's meticulously pressing the brush deep into a crack within one of the larger stones. Panel 2. Laylee walking back down the internal stairway with her empty bucket, brush handle sticking out of the top, a day's work complete. Panel 3. Close-up on Laylee's fat tits. No, that's not what it says.
Finally.
Panel 3. Close-up on Laylee as she looks with concern. Panel 4. She sees a massive crack in the interior wall that goes across a few dozen stones. The crack, it's about 20 feet. It dwarfs her. She could fit her entire body within it. She stops to stare at it.
Somehow that's hot.
She stops to stare at it, perhaps somewhat silhouetted by it, with her in profile to show the size of it. We should be able to tell right here that the tower is a wreck, and no matter how much mortar they paint onto the stones, it's not going to fix this level of damage. Panel 5. Wait, oh no, I hope this story doesn't have an unhappy ending. Okay, panel 5. A small close-up on the edge of the damage. Some of the pale special paint is just chipping and flaking off of it, as if it had been painted over previously and clearly did nothing. It looks like the massive crack wasn't even filled in, simply covered over with this mortar paint. Page 10, panel 1. Laylee at the tavern, sitting at a stool, looking distressed as she vents to cute Thomas as he stands nearby, washing a glass in the bar sink.
Kawaii Thomas.
Just adorable. Laylee.
Adorable.
The damage along the wall is, Laylee continued. I cannot describe. The tower cannot hold up. Laylee continued. And all we are doing is painting over it. I was told the material we paint makes the tower stronger, but I've seen it coming off of the stones, and they are not stronger. Thomas. Yeah, it's just stone meal. That's pretty much all the workers do for the past few years, paint over the bricks. Thomas continued. At least that's what a few workers told me before they left. I only worked on the tower for a couple of weeks, and that was about 4 years ago. Panel 2. Laylee looks up, worried. Laylee. Who makes these decisions? They need to be told that the stones need to be replaced completely. They are too damaged. Thomas. Well, the village always says there are no leaders here. It's a communal work, with each individual deciding for themselves the best way to do repairs.
Doesn't
Thomas,
that sound like a load of horse shit?
Oh, gee, what is this specifically a fucking reference?
What was this a giant, blatant, obvious allegory to? Not even allegory, because allegory makes it sound fancy important. This is just fucking a bunch of gay bullshit.
What's a stupider term for allegory?
What's the dumb version of it?
Thomas continued. But in reality, everyone does what Caesar says. Panel 3, Laylee, standing up, determined. Some drunk nut job next to her speaks up, looking wide-eyed and a bit shifty, as he's probably mentally ill as well as an alcoholic, haha.
Wow, I see, that's when I knew it was like, okay, if I'm going to be this obvious, might as well go all out.
Oh yeah, and your art? It's obvious.
Laylee, then I must speak to him. Drunk nutjob. You can't just speak to Caesar. You gotta be someone important first. Panel 4. The patron starting to get hostile on his own, but Thomas cuts him off as Thomas gives him the side eye.
Whoa.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Drunk nutjob. Who the hell are you anyway, trying to tell Caesar anything? Thomas. You. Go back to drinking. He's like 4'4".
No, he's 5'2". There's a huge difference. Oh, wait, no, there isn't.
Also,
Thomas continued. Look, Laylee was it? I can try to get his ear for you, but I can't guarantee he'll listen. Thomas continued. Though, if what you said about the damage is true, it can't hurt to try. Page 11. Panel 1. Exterior. Further down the village road, Laylee standing in front of a carved oak doorway to a mini palace. A couple of crazed-looking guards stand nearby, staring at her with wide, crazy eyes, like she was the last piece of fried chicken that they expect was going to suddenly grow legs and run away from them. The guards wear such mismatched, ill-fitting, cheap armor pieces that they look like they're late 90s cosplayers, sort of like Sam Hyde's TED Talk, except even more randomly assigned and not as fancy or high quality. They both have capes also, which are probably just cheapo curtains. Panel 2. Interior. Laylee passing through the door. Inside is a large lounge chamber or a private club for rich phonies. You got a funny way of talking, Pierre.
Maybe you should try getting a job.
I am a Frenchman. Oui, oui.
People sit around. They look paired up as if they were discussing things, but they all are stopped to look at this new intruder. Everyone inside also wears a cape made out of kitchen curtains. The lowest rent inner circle you could find. Laylee. Hello. I am here to speak to Caesar. Panel 3. A close-up on one of the others who were sitting around in the chamber as they start to glare at her, and all the others collectively start to glare at her as if simultaneously programmed to do so.
Programmed almost like NPCs.
A character named Cape Cuck, and then another character named Cupcake.
Oh, this is genius. This is already genius.
Cape Cuck. Who are you and why should you be allowed to speak to Caesar? Cupcake. You need to work your way up, make a name for yourself first, then you get to speak to him. Panel 4. Laylee standing there, confused, since she's already here, and yet being asked this irrelevant question. Laylee. Panel 5. Up a small set of stairs on an elevated portion of this lounge chamber, Caesar appears from a smaller doorway in the back, probably the bathroom, approaching an embarrassingly small, cramped table where his main counsel sits, all crowded a little too close to each other on chairs that look like they're for children. Caesar is very fat, borderline corpulent, unshaven, dressed in the biggest flurry of kitchen curtains. No one is allowed to wear more curtains than Caesar, and clumsily wearing a massive battle helmet over his head that is not only too big, but looks like it's completely useless in everyday life, being too heavy, as if he was trying to give off the impression that he's a powerful warrior when he clearly isn't. He's easily 60 years old. He's
Ew.
Gross. Why would anyone be 60 years old? He's walking towards a table where others are seated, including a man, the prince, who looks like a very weathered 50-year-old man with a jarhead haircut, with the sides and back shaved but the top grown out and somewhat sticking out randomly. The prince's eyes are going in opposite directions from each other, his mouth perpetually open as if to breathe through it. He's the only one at the main table that's not glaring at Laylee, because he can't look with both eyes in one direction. Whoever draws these characters is going to have a good time. One of the others looks like a filthy homeless guy who is wearing a cartoonishly excessive amount of religious symbols on his body.
Wow,
His
way to be
eyes-
judgmental about him. Why don't you just call him a faggot while you're at it?
He's also a faggot.
Oh, okay. You know what? That I should add that to the script. That makes it actually
add-
better.
I don't want my name on this.
Oh, you don't want your name, Randall Monroe, on this.
His eyes open wide and looking crazed. Caesar, as he approaches the table, intends to come off as pleasant and charitable as he sees her. As he sees her?
Caesar sees her.
Oh.
Caesar starts to seize as he sees her. And he's a Cape Cuck cupcake.
Caesar. The kid owning the tavern told me you wanted to see me.
Could you make him sound a bit gayer? Make him sound like
Maybe
he's
that
trying to
would be
hit on
okay.
the male listeners of this stream. That would be accurate.
And go.
Caesar. The kid owning the tavern told me you wanted to see me. Was that better?
I don't know.
It's exactly the same.
Yes.
What sounds a bit more like, was it a cross between Rocky and Bullwinkle at the same time?
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Page 12. Panel 1. Laylee, being seen from overhead, looked down upon.
Ooh.
She's shuffling through a couple of pieces of paper where she has written notes, skimming over them. Laylee. Oh, yes. Laylee continued. Let me see. Panel 2. Laylee looking up from her papers to address Caesar and his council. Laylee. I have...
The War Council. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Is
More
that
like
too on the nose?
Snore Council.
Snore Council.
We're gonna fucking chant Hail Caesar, and then fucking Vince
Ass
Vaughn's
fuck
gonna
each
tell
other.
us how Vince Vaughn's gonna tell us how heterosexual it is.
Hail Caesar! Hail Caesar!
Hail Caesar.
Hail Caesar!
That's extremely heterosexual. It's not gay at all.
Laylee, I have many concerns about the tower. Many of the bricks are destroyed completely, and there are no supports. The tower only stands under its own weight and seems near collapse. Laylee continued. The damage is only being painted over, but the bricks and stones themselves should be removed while the tower still stands, so new stones can be put in their place. Laylee continued. If I would be allowed to begin work on this myself, at the very least, then no one else has to stop their own work, but their work is serving no value to the tower, and others should begin to replace stones around the base.
She's very Dorbs. She's very Dorbs, but also fucking muscular.
She's also
but not too
responsible. She's being responsible.
Okay, page 13. Panel 1. The prince speaks up with his mouth open as always, and his eyes going in two directions.
Still, they're
Enough.
continuing to go in two different directions.
Another man sitting at the table starts yelling angrily, and another angrier man starts to shout. But Caesar has the last word, as he takes his central seat at the table, even though his chair is rickety and small. The prince. Who is she? Cape Cuck 2. We obviously
Doesn't even get a name.
Just Cape Cuck. Oh, what does Cape Cuck have to do with this? Oh, yeah, that's right, because they're wearing capes.
Hopefully there's a part in this story where somebody gets a cape caught in a door. They're just always getting their capes caught in doors and shit.
Well, shit. I have to rewrite that.
Cape Cuck 2. We obviously already know the tower needs repaired. That's why we're repairing it. We've built this tower ourselves. I think we know more than you about how to fix it. There's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with it, and we're fixing it.
Yes.
There's nothing. Cape Cuck 3. The original stones are part of our heritage from 1,000 years ago, and you want to throw them away just because they have a few cracks in them? Caesar. Hold on now. Panel 2. Focus on Caesar as he pontificates, proud of himself for talking. Caesar. The damage to the beacon tower was inflicted by outside corruptors who wanted to destroy this beautiful place that brought so many people happiness and beauty through the night skies of this land.
What a faggot.
Listen to the way he talks. You can tell from the way he talks.
He's a
just
fucking
a fag.
queer.
Every person who chooses to live here accepts the responsibility as protectors of the beacon, and the previous damage will gradually be repaired by our wonderful village of crafters. Caesar continued. The corruptors claimed they wanted to repair the tower, but in fact they wanted to use the beacon to manipulate people's thoughts. That's why we call them corruptors. Panel 3. Laylee tries to talk, but Caesar cuts her off. Who would do such a thing?
Especially to Laylee, the best girl.
Just the worst person ever would do such a
Pile of
thing.
shit.
Laylee tries to talk, but Caesar cuts her off, his word balloon overlapping hers. Perhaps a wide shot, Lely standing at the bottom of the few stairs, and Caesar sitting up on his throne, flanked by irritated-looking men glaring at Lely. Lely. We don't have to change anything, we can just rebuild. Caesar. Please wait. You've already had a chance to speak. It's my turn to talk.
What a baby.
Oh, what a jerk off. What a baby. Where's my American
Where's
flag?
my American flag diaper?
Caesar continued. First, the old bricks you seem to care nothing about are part of why we love the beacon.
His heritage.
Those great bricks are beautiful in their own right. The corruptors wanted to get rid of those bricks too, but all of us living in Beacon Village are here because of those old bricks and stones. Otherwise, we would just go build another tower instead, with new stones that have no history or meaning to them. That actually sounds like a good idea. Caesar continued. Beacon Village is full of great people who care about how much this beacon means, and how so many people for centuries have looked to it as a symbol of hope.
It's gay.
Panel
That's
4.
some gay shit right there.
Gay LARPing ass shit.
Yes,
Gay
LARPing ass nutcuz.
Panel 4. The prince speaks up as if he wasn't listening, while Caesar's throne is next to him. The prince. What we really should do is get even older bricks to replace the ones in the tower right now!
That's like the worst idea I've ever heard.
That's some of the dumbest shit ever.
Panel 5. Caesar gives a dead glare at the prince as the prince stares off in two different directions, breathing through his mouth.
Was he stupid? That makes him sound
might.
like he's dumb. In real
Wow.
life. Page 14.
Page 14.
Page 14, what is the holdup?
Panel
What
1.
is the holdup? Read page 14 already.
Laylee tries to speak again, but she's interrupted by the only guy in the room fatter than Caesar, wearing weirdly skimpy robes that are painted a variety of bizarre mismatching colors and patterns, blue dots with yellow stripes. He interrupts her with a hilarious joke that gets everyone else laughing uproariously.
That's how you know it's funny. Because it says right there. That's hilarious.
It says it's funny.
Hilarious.
This is a great script because it tells you what you're supposed to feel.
He interrupts her
Whoa.
with a
Hilarious.
hilarious joke that gets everyone else laughing uproariously to prove what a great sense of humor they have. They're suddenly laughing so hard they look like they're in pain, as Laylee looks puzzled.
They
The
are suffering immensely.
The only one not laughing as hard is the prince, who still is amused, but he is only laughing because everyone else is. He doesn't really get it.
Is this judgmental? Yes.
Laylee. Could I try working on the base stones myself? Morbidly obese guy. Maybe instead of getting stones, we should get stoned. Caesar and pals screaming.
Stop screaming!
Is their laughter maybe a little forced?
No, they're just, funny people who have a good sense of... I mean,
have
hey,
sense.
he has a good sense of humor. You know the best way to know if someone has a sense of humor? They tell you they have a great sense of humor.
Panel 2. Laylee, looking a little confused and bored as Caesar drones on with his face reddened and veins bulging, betraying his secret rage, his text smaller and eventually cutting off by the bottom of the panel gutter. His inner council is no longer laughing, but most smirk with superiority down at Laylee. Caesar, smaller text. Furthermore, it's a fucking insult to the great people of this village and the work they do to go around saying that they're not fixing the tower. People come from all over the world to join this village, and we accept everyone who loves this fucking beacon. Caesar
It's fucking
continued.
beacon.
Even smaller text. I think the beacon is the goddamn symbol of hope the world needs, and we're in a great community of wonderful people doing great work, and it's the beacon that needs to look its best for everyone who looks to its light for hope. I mean, really, no one looks at the base of the tower for hope. Our fucking job is to make the beacon look its best. Caesar, off panel and eventually getting cut off. It is not my decision anyway. The people lead themselves, and I'm just a humble crafter like them. And every day I'm amazed by the support this village has been giving me. So whatever the people of the village want, I'm here to help provide it to them. So, if they want to keep the same brick and stone that their parents and grandparents loved about the beacon tower, I say we shouldn't try to take that away from them, because it's all about them, the people, and it's finally time somebody listened to them. Panel 3. Interior. The tavern. Laylee looking more confused and weary as she slumps against the bar. She has 2 empty whiskey glasses in front of her and a third large glass of beer almost empty. Thomas. You definitely look like you talked with Caesar. Thomas continued. Or he talked at you. Laylee. Ugh. Page 15, panel 1. Laylee, leaning up a bit, looking dejected and weary. Laylee. I don't know anyway. I mean, who am I to tell these people what they do with their work? Laylee continued. The tower is theirs, the beacon is theirs, it is their village where they live and work. The men with Caesar told me they built this place. Perhaps they are right that I should not tell them what to do with what belongs to them. Panel 2. Thomas looks practically stone-faced as he hears her repeating those same old lines that Caesar's council parrots. Thomas. The tower is 1,000 years old. They didn't build it, and their families didn't build it either. The tower is just part of the old city square from the lost Hadrianat kingdom. Thomas continued. Most of Caesar's council are from Rio's hills or Bicaldon, places like that. Certainly not from here. Panel 3. Laylee looks weary, but amazed. Laylee. That's right. What? Laylee continued. What the hell was I thinking? I already knew they didn't build the tower, but hearing them claim to do that, it was so incredibly stupid I didn't question it. Laylee continued. What's wrong with me? Ugh, give another drink, please. Something hard.
Hard? Yeah, I got something hard for her.
You gonna take that dick? You gonna take that dick?
Page 16. Panel 1. Thomas trying to be comforting as he pours Laylee something green.
That's green.
Thomas. Don't worry about it. Sounds like they talked circles around you. They're apparently like that with most people who aren't part of their group. Did they give you permission to work on the base stones at least? Panel 2. Laylee in stunned silence. Panel 3. Laylee speaking up. Laylee. I never got an answer. Laylee continued. They were so busy telling me how great the beacon is and the village and the people and all that. Laylee continued. He was busy trying to sound like the King of Greynall, except the King of Greynall actually fixed his country and made his people happy. Panel 4. Thomas speaks up again. Laylee takes her drink. Thomas. They'll tell you they're happy, but most are bitter, trying to convince themselves that they're doing good. When anything bad happens, they just blame those corruptors they love to bring up. I mean, the corruptors were real, and they were definitely bad, but they haven't shown up once since I've been here. They keep their distance these days. Thomas continued. I've been leeching off the village with this tavern for about 4 years now, and for every person who stays, 2 leave. Usually for the same reason you're probably thinking of leaving now. Page 17. Panel 1. Laylee puts down an empty glass, having already slugged through her drink. Laylee. I don't want to leave. I do want to help. Laylee continued. But now I don't know if I can help. They need more help than I can give, and the work they are doing. Panel 2. Laylee stares down into the bar. Laylee. Maybe if I do the work on my own and tell others I have permission. Laylee continued. If what Caesar said is supposed to be true, that there are no leaders of this village, then it is my decision to make. Panel 3. Laylee gets up with some determination as Thomas gives her some parting advice. Thomas. What they say and what they do ain't always the same thing. Though it's supposed to be true that Caesar can't give you orders. Dunno why they call him Caesar, though, in that case. Thomas continued. Just be careful. People behave as if he leads them, and if they treat him as a leader, then he is, no matter what people say. Thomas continued. Good luck. Laylee. Thank you. Panel 4. Exterior. Laylee exiting the tavern. Panel 5. Laylee finding a wheelbarrow near a construction supply storage shed as she starts wheeling it away. Panel 6. Laylee outside of the village in the forest picking up large stones and putting them in the wheelbarrow. The sun is setting. Page 18. Panel 1. At night. The beacon lit up and making the village glow with gentle tones of light, but with sharp separations between the colors, like a massive kaleidoscope, a large triangle of green, and then a large circle of purple on it, and so on. Laylee is wheeling the wheelbarrow back to the tool shed, smiling softly up at the light, as it's even more pleasant being this close to it, and she had no idea. It's quiet and peaceful at night, while everyone else is asleep. This is when Laylee loves to be awake. Panel 2. Interior. A communal barracks. Laylee awakening as the sun rises again. Other people getting out of their bunks to go work. Panel 3. Exterior. Laylee going back to the tool shed to get her wheelbarrow of stones, but she finds the stones dumped out onto the ground and the wheelbarrow gone. Panel 4. Laylee with a sledgehammer hefted over one shoulder, the handle tucked under one of her elbows, and both hands carrying the largest stone she could get. Panel 5. Laylee setting a bucket of mortar down next to the base of the tower as she picks up the sledgehammer with one hand, the other hand also holding a pair of gloves. The side of the tower she's working on is the one that points to the most of the rest of the village, where the village road ends at the base of the tower. Her thought is that she'll prioritize repairs to the side of the tower base that's closest to where people live so that it's the strongest, with the idea of keeping people safe. Page 19, Panel 1. Laylee wearing the gloves and swinging the sledgehammer into one of the lowest and most crumbled stones, a stone that was sitting right on the foundation. Someone interrupts her already. Interrupting person. Hey, what are you doing? Interrupting person continued. Did someone say you could do this? Panel 2. Small close-up of Laylee looking blankly as she realizes she never thought of what she'd do in this situation. Panel 3. Laylee blankly answering. Laylee. Yeah. Laylee continued. They told me I'm supposed to do this. Panel 4. The interrupting person now looks blank as if trying to process. Panel 5. They respond. Interrupting person. Fine, whatever. Panel 6. Laylee pulling crushed pieces of the old stone out, leaving a large gap, large enough that she could crawl into it, but also making a good space for the new stone she brought. The old stones should be dull, dusty brown, and the new stone she's bringing should be a sort of plain gray, something that looks fresh. Panel 7. Laylee pokes her head into the hole she just smashed. Page 20. Panel 1. Interior. Wide panel. The inside of the base of the tower, a sort of enclosed crawl space. All we see is the foundation, the massive cracks and open gaps within the foundation itself. Laylee looks shocked to see the damage being this deep. The roof of this interior foundation space is the tower's bottom floor, made of aged and somewhat splintered wood. Most likely, this tower is built under a massive underground spring or swamp, so the ground gets soggy with rain over the centuries and starts compressing the foundation, decaying it, something like that, as well as previous floods over the past 1,000 years, the tower not being built on elevated land.
It's completely superfluous information.
The foundation is very aged and very battered and has never been restored or patched. Some of the cracks in the foundation are large enough for a person to stick their entire leg down inside. Panel 2. Exterior again. As Laylee's head pops back out, her teeth slightly clenched as she looks worried. The tower might have bigger problems than its own bricks, but what more can she do?
What can we do?
What can you do?
What can
Panel
you do?
3. Laylee's eyebrows furrowed with worry, but she drags the large stone over to plug up the hole she made. Panel 4. Close up on her filling the top and sides with mortar, carefully painting and cramming it in with her brush. Panel 5.
She even spackles adorably.
Panel 5. Laylee using a small handpick to scrape something into the stone, off panel. Panel 6. The stone. We see a series of pale white straight lines scraped into the stone that spell Laylee. Page 21. Panel 1. Interior. Laylee at the tavern again, with Thomas serving her. Laylee. I have placed one stone today. Even a month from now, I could not replace all of the stones around the bottom. Laylee continued. The foundation inside is frightening to see. It looks almost destroyed, and who can I tell about this? Laylee continued. And my hands ache, but I will not quit.
She said it with that fruity determination.
Fruity determination.
She's good. She's a good person. She's a good character.
She's a good person.
You are a good person.
Give me this.
She's such a good person, I almost don't want to see her get cum, gut, and empreg with tentacle babies.
Almost.
Almost. I mean, there's just got to be limits.
But I will not quit, she said with berry-flavored determination. Thomas, you know, when I first came here, I had the same idea. I wanted to help fix up the tower. Thomas continued, but, well, you know how it is around here. I almost moved out after the first few weeks, but the guy who ran the tavern left too, so I took over. Figured I'd exploit the people here, make some money for a while before I bail on this village. Panel 2. Thomas continues, Laylee looking a bit drunk as she takes another drink. Thomas. I couldn't put up with the way they ran things in the tower. The fact that you're doing it your way, that takes some real, Thomas continued. Brass ovaries. Panel 3. Laylee giving him a drunken grin as she holds up her almost empty glass. Laylee. Maybe someday I'll Laylee. Maybe someday I'll show them to you. Thomas. Panel 4. Thomas looking out into empty space. Panel 5. Thomas suddenly looking horrified at the idea of Laylee showing her ovaries to him. Page 22. Panel 1. Exterior. A perfectly good time for a montage. Perhaps a good low-angle view of the base of the tower as Laylee is smashing
Good
another
low-angle view of Laylee and her ovaries.
Yeah, sounds great.
We're going to see some fur and early morning dew.
As Laylee is smashing another old stone.
Oh, shit. Oh.
next to the one she previously placed. Panel 2. Same angle and perspective as the previous panel.
Ooh.
Another day, the ground slightly muddy from rain. Several more stones, brighter gray, are in places. Laylee has been working, perhaps for a week or two. It's a bit chilly outside, her breath visible in the air. She's painting in mortar for a fresh stone she's placed. Panel 3. Again, same angle and perspective. Laylee further in the distance now as she's placed a good string of stones along the base. If she placed 1 or 2 stones per day, then she must have been working for a couple of months so far. The weather looks like it's warming up, the distant forest becoming more flush with greenery, a butterfly or two fluttering in the air. Somewhat in the foreground, a pair of workers walks by, chattering about the same old stuff. Worker, smaller text. The corruptors are so angry at how good we're fixing the tower. Panel 4. A panel that takes up the rest of the page, good and large, of Laylee with the top of her suit pulled down around her waist as she leans against the tower, her brown skin dripping with sweat as she huffs and pants into the air. Her big heavy tits are covered up with some sort of binding or maybe a rudimentary bra that barely covers her up. Perhaps just a slight undershirt that stops just under her nipples but also covers none of her cleavage. If it's an undershirt, the bottom portion should be clinging to her huge sweaty tits. With her suit down, her sweaty muscular abs and toned arms are also on display. She's been working hard almost every day for months. The inside of her suit is pure animal fur, so as it's pulled down, it looks like she's wearing a sort of outer fur skirt around her waist. This panel should be overwhelmed with nauseating amounts of male gaze. If this panel doesn't make at least one teenage girl start cutting herself or develop an eating disorder, it has failed. Page 23, Panel 1. Interior. Laylee in the tavern, looking worn out, her top still pulled down, and she's still sweating. Thomas serves her as usual. Laylee. Just water. Thomas. Well, we got plenty of that. Don't grab the glass too hard, it'll explode. Panel 2. Laylee asks me a sincere question as she takes the water. Laylee. Do you still plan to leave? Thomas. Not while you're here. Panel 3. Laylee thinks he's just flirting. She smirks. He doesn't. Laylee. No, I am serious. Thomas. So am I. Panel 4. Interior. Thomas's cramped little bedroom. Laylee's body is physically larger than his borderline hobbit bed, and yet somehow both of them have managed to squeeze into it. His flimsy blanket is too small to cover her fat, heavy tits. No more of that coy tee-hee teasing bullshit. Just flop her giant cans out there.
That's
She
a reference
looks
to
like-
myself because the first draft of this just had her fucking tits covered up by the blanket partially. It's like, oh, there'll be some of that. And then, like, on the last redraft, I was like, why don't I just have nudity in this? Why don't I?
She looks like she's been pounded good and hard, sweatier than ever, but still wanting to talk. Thomas looks smug on a whole new level, considering how much shorter and weaker he is than Laylee, but he's still crushed her pussy, and she is his bitch now. They are also flanked by bookshelves that are so packed that there are books laying on top of rows of other books. Thomas has as much of a personal library as he can fit in his room. Bookshelves on both sides of the bed, but also above the head of the bed. Laylee. But I am not sure how much longer I wish to continue with this tower. I tried to tell others about the damage to the foundation, but none listened. No one wished to join me in replacing any stones. Laylee continued. All anyone else seems to talk about is how their repairs are so good that it makes the corruptors angry. Page 24, panel 1. Thomas sits up slightly as he looks at her in his bed. Thomas, I think the work you did so far looks great, but I'm not sure you're taking the right approach. Thomas continued, not that I should tell you what to do, especially since I ain't helping you do it, but I really think it would be easier to make a new tower than trying to rebuild this old one. Panel 2. Laylee looks lost in thought for a moment. Laylee, I don't think I want to create something new. I'm not sure I can. All of my feelings are for this old place. Panel 3. Thomas pets her head comfortingly. Thomas, well, whatever you decide, I'll stay as long as you stay. Thomas continued, if you leave, let me know first. Page 25. Panel 1. Exterior. The distant hills where Laylee has been gathering fresh stones. It's autumn. Some of the trees are turning bright orange and red. Laylee is hefting a large stone into the wheelbarrow. It's cool enough outside that her suit can be fully worn again, keeping her comfortable. Her breath is seen in the air as she hefts the stone. We can see the tower in the distance, the beacon very mildly glowing with colored lights in the daytime. Panel 2. Laylee is suddenly alerted to the tower as it finally gives way, free-falling and broken near the base. Sound effects tower. Coom. Panel 3. Laylee shoving the wheelbarrow aside to run back to the village as the rest of the tower hits the ground, clouds of dust flying into the air and washing over the village. The beacon itself shatters, sending the internal fluid floating off into the air. Page 26. Laylee running through the dusty street of town towards the tavern. Panel 2. Interior as she runs up to the bar and looks for Thomas immediately. Laylee, Thomas! Panel 3, overhead view. Behind the bar, Thomas cowered down on the floor, his hands over his head, but he looks up to Laylee. He looks shaken. Wow, what a weenie.
Yeah, what's he afraid of getting fucking pulverized by a giant fucking several thousand tons of rock? Oh, faggot. Hey, faggot.
Thomas, smaller, scratchy text. Finally happened, huh? Panel 4, exterior. Thomas and Laylee walking out to the street as the dust is cleared. Some people have gathered around the base already mourning. Some just stand in the street, shocked. Panel 5, Caesar and his council of Cape Cupcakes exit their mini palace to see. Cape Councilman. How could this have happened?
Cape Cod Councilman. Oh, that's pretty funny. Oh, that's right. I wrote this.
Good job. Good job, Randall.
Good job reading that without fucking... Cape Cod Cupcake is not easy to say out loud, by the way. It took me quite a lot of practice.
Another Cape Cod Councilman. Was this an attack by the corruptors? Page 27. Panel 1. Laylee standing in the street. Other people around start getting suspicious of anything they can. Thomas is suddenly not next to her anymore, walking away quickly. Laylee looks somewhat worried and distressed that the tower is finally destroyed. Villager. Was it sabotage? Villager. Did anyone say someone's... Fucking
villager just talks like such an idiot.
Why does this villager sound like a fucking stupid asshole?
He can't even string a sentence together. What's wrong with him?
Now I have to rewrite it to make that
This
more.
needs to be in the script.
Needs to be in the script.
Did anyone say anyone's suspicious around the tower today? Panel 2. Caesar standing by the ruins near the bricks that Laylee had replaced herself. Caesar. My fellow workers, this is a terrible day for us, but we should not lose hope. We are all hard workers. We create towers, and we are already here in this place.
I like the voices.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, the
thank you.
voices
Good
are
job on the voice.
Voices are always the best part.
Caesar, we can make a new tower of our own. Panel 3. Laylee looking a bit hopeful, a slight smile, sort of like Max Payne at the end of Max Payne 1. Panel 4. Caesar standing by Laylee's first stone, the light gray rose she placed, which still stand. The tower collapsed away from them after all, into the forest. Caesar, and look, the oldest stones, the one that my own ancestors placed. These stones are still here, telling us where we can begin anew. Panel 5. Laylee frowning, suddenly annoyed.
Just where's your heritage? And check yourself Where's your Judaism? Judaism, where are you? Where are you, Judaism?
Page 28. Panel 1. Thomas appears next to Laylee again, a bag of money and full liquor bottles slung over one shoulder, and he's double-fisting a couple of massive liquor bottles as well, the top-shelf stuff, just like he double-fisted Laylee last night.
Whoa. In her asshole and cunt.
No, just both in the asshole.
Oh.
Thomas, ready to go? Panel 2. Laylee looks a bit sad as she glances down at him. Laylee, I am unsure. Laylee continued, now they want to do what I suggested. They will rebuild a new tower. I can stay and help. Panel 3. Thomas gives her a puzzled look, looking upwards at her. Thomas, you seriously want to help these people? Panel 4. Laylee looks silently at him. Panel 5. Laylee takes one of the bottles out of his hands. Laylee. No. Page 29.
No.
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 Is such a thing even possible?
No!
Fuck no, she's getting the hell out of here. Page 29. Panel 1. Thomas and Laylee begin walking away from the village. Thomas, they're probably a minute away from blaming you for this, you know. Laylee, you are right. Laylee continues. The tower stood for 1,000 years, then I show up and it's gone. Laylee continued. Is this my fault? Laylee continued. Even if I built my own tower, would I have to become someone like them to do it? Panel 2. Thomas, stifling a hard laugh. Laylee looks a bit confused at him. Sound effects. Thomas. Thomas, you're the only one questioning yourself. Thomas continued. Out of all the people here. Page 30, panel 1, close-up on Laylee's ass, as Thomas's free hand clamps onto it with a slapping squeeze. Sound effects, Laylee's hot ass. Whack. Panel 2, Thomas smugly grinning at her as Laylee looks shocked.
Smugly? Oh no.
Oh no, he's smug.
Thomas, just shut up and pull the cork. Panel 3.
You tell that bitch to shut up.
And pull the cork.
Panel 3. Thomas and Laylee smirk to each other as they yank the corks out of their respective bottles.
Do they smirk heavily?
It doesn't say that. I'm sure it's implied. Walking away from the crowd and leaving the village. Panel 4. Close up on that first stone Laylee set in the base of the collapsed tower with Laylee scratched into it. Page 31.
That was the original ending, by the way, was just the close-up on the Laylee. And that might be the original ending that I'll go back to.
So everything after here is non-canon.
Yeah.
Page 31, panel 1, exterior, wide shot. A shorter tower, but nearly atop a mountain peak, so it rises above the other mountain peak in the distance. The top of the tower has a plateau with a massive brazier on it, and stairs going up to the brazier as well as a few distant hints of people along the top. Unlike the previous beacon tower, this one has no interior. The stairs also don't wind around the tower exterior. They simply go straight up from the mountainside to the brazier plateau. Panel 2. Closer up on the brazier as we see Thomas, Laylee, and a few friends, other people wearing Oroka Mountain pelt quilt suits, like Laylee's, loading chopped planks and logs from the nearby forest into the brazier, walking up a short stairway that allows access into the brazier. Panel 3. Laylee standing within the brazier, pouring dark black oil onto the logs. Thomas is nearby, and he has a small flask of luminescent, weightless fluid, which he is brushing onto the logs with an application brush. Panel 4. Both of them exiting the brazier as an older woman with a pelt quilt suit holds a torch. Laylee. Okay, it should be ready. Throw it in and let's see. Thomas, smaller text. Cold, cold, cold. Page 32. Panel 1. The torch throwing into the brazier. As it immediately ignites many of the other logs, some of the logs begin emitting a fluorescent multicolored light, as if the weightless fluid, the same kind the beacon had, ignites and glows brilliantly. Panel 2. A little zoomed out as we see the brazier fully lit, but several of the wooden logs and planks are beginning to rise out of the brazier and into the air, weightless themselves. Panel 3. Wide shot, large panel that should take up most of the page, of the Oroka Tower as large chunks of fluorescent fire begin to float up to the sky, hundreds of feet, filling the sky around them with streams of light emitting from many individual burning flames. Panel 4. Small final narrow panel along the bottom of Thomas and Laylee's hands holding each other, clasped together as they sit in seats and watch, washed over with the multispectral fluorescent glow. The end.
Make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, unsubscribe, unshare, uncomment, and unlike.